the flood. Before Ham went there, before Noah allowed his son to go into those regions, something was going on in that area before the flood from the sons of Adam. Seth, Enoch, and all the prophets were operating in that area. That's where the Most High was communicating with his people. And as you can see, if you look at your map, Sinai of Egypt is really the border of Egypt that's bordering into where? Israel. So if you take the water out of the way, because part of the curse of the flood was the water sprung out of the earth, and that tongue of Egypt was made based on the flood, when the earth cracked from the sins of the fallen angels and the sons of men. If you move that water out of the way and bring it together, it's one landmass. And that was the coordinates in which the Most High was dealing with mankind before the Red Sea was there. So get Egypt out of your mind, because this was before the land was called Egypt. The information that Moses received was the information the fathers had before the flood. Okay? Now read that last verse you were at again.
This is Jubilees chapter 50 verse 2.
Go ahead.
And I told thee of the Sabbaths of the land on Mount Sinai. And I told thee of the Jubilees, of the Jubilee years and the Sabbath of years. But the year thereof have I not told thee, till ye enter into the land that ye are to possess.
Go ahead.
And the land also shall keep its Sabbaths while they dwell upon it.
Go ahead.
And they shall know the Jubilee year. Wherefore I have ordained for thee the years of the year weeks, and the years and the Jubilees. There are 49 Jubilees from the days of Adam until this day.
See that? So if you understand the Jubilees of years, you can count back to Adam, to the day of creation. Read.
Wherefore I have ordained for thee year weeks, and the years of the Jubilees. There are 49 Jubilees from the days of Adam until this day.
Go ahead.
1 week in 2 years. And there are yet 40 years to come for the learning commandments of the Lord, until they pass over into the land of Canaan, crossing the Jordan into to the west.
So he gave a time stamp of Jubilees of 7 from Adam up until the time that we crossed the Red Sea. So the Most High have always done things from 7, weeks to weeks. Now here's something key. Let's go to the 49th chapter. Right? Let's see here. That's 50. Let's go to the 49th chapter right here. And let's start at, one moment. Let me get straight there real quick. Let's go to the 6th chapter of Jubilees. Go back to the 6th chapter of Jubilees now. So I can show brothers and sisters what it means when it says profaning the Sabbath. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's start at the 23rd verse and read it all the way through, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let's start at the 23rd verse, 6 and 23. There's pieces that I wanted to pick out, but we might as well read it all the way through and let us break it down. So go ahead.
The book of Jubilees, chapter 6, verse 23.
Go ahead.
And the new moon of the first month, and the new moon of the fourth month, and the new moon of the seventh month, and the new moon of the 10th month are the days of remembrance, and the days of the seasons in the 4 divisions of the year. These are written and ordained as a testimony forever.
A testimony how long?
Forever.
And as you can see, it says new moon. But when you go into the Hebrew, it's not the word moon from the moon in the sky. It's the word Kadash, which means month. So you indicate your 4 months based on a change of seasons. Now, I copied this chart. Not that this chart have the information as far as vernal equinox and the different equinoxes. I erased all this equinox stuff because that doesn't matter. I'm focusing on the cycle here. What this is telling us, where my pen at here, is that for changes of seasons, there's 4 per year, which are Sabbaths. 1 for the spring, 1 for the summer, 1 for the autumn or what they call fall, and 1 for the winter. These 4 are Sabbaths. Now, how do you count them? 1 come in for the new day of the year, which we had here, which is what? March 16th, 7. And I'm going to show you how we got that. That's a new month, Sabbath. 1 will come here, which will be a Sabbath that will bring in the summertime. 1 will come here, which will bring in the autumn time. And 1 will come here, which will bring in the winter time. And that cycle will go flawlessly 364. Flawlessly every year in cycles of 7 from week to week. That means the first day of the year begins at the end of the Sabbath, going like from Saturday sundown to Sunday sundown, like we are in now. And the last day of the year will end what? From Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Y'all got that? Flawlessly. You have a week that starts from where? Saturday sundown to Sunday sundown. It ends when? Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. So the year begins and ends the same way a week begins and ends. See that? Now, how can you get 7 wrong now? How can you get the Sabbath wrong? It doesn't matter what the moon does. 7 is 7. 364 days. The weeks are flawless without any level of separation. The only time you needed to read the stars were if you were in a situation at night in which you would need to know how the stars and moon was aligned based on this cycle. See that? Y'all understand that? You understand? Exactly. They didn't use the night to calculate the 364 days. They used it so that if they were at night, they would still know what time they were in, based on where things are aligned according to the cycle. See that? Y'all understand that? Right? Now, of course, we don't deal with the vernal equinoxes in these equinoxes. Why? They purposely got the vernal equinox here, so that when you go and do your research on the vernal equinox, that would lead you to March 20th. That's why they have the word there to make you believe this is when it begins. But this was part of their deception. So we don't use the words like vernal equinox, because that leads to error. We're going to find out how you will know outside of their terms when a new year starts and when the new year begins. Okay? Now let's stick here in Scripture. Let's go.
The book of Jubilees, chapter 6, verse 23.
Go ahead.
And on the new moon of the first month.
And on the new moon of the first month.
And on the new moon of the fourth month.
And on the new moon of the fourth month.
And on the new moon of the seventh month.
And on the new moon of the seventh month. Go ahead.
And on the new moon of the 10th month are the days of remembrance.
Are the days of remembrance. Read.
And the days of the seasons and the 4 divisions of the year.
In the 4 divisions of the year. Now, I went into this research before, but I'm going to read it again, why you don't calculate according to the vernal equinox. These are the things you need to know. In your link, brothers and sisters, and I'm going to share this also in the academy for the next academy we have coming up. In the information that I put the link there for you, if you can see it there. All right? If you type on that, the National Geographic also did an article that they know our people don't even look at, that says the vernal equinox 2012 first day of spring myth is busted. That they purposely put the vernal equinox in place knowing that we would one day, the Most High would call us to understand his Sabbaths again. So they needed us to follow their vernal equinox so that we can think that the Sabbath falls on a Tuesday. See, they did this on every level. Even if you're dealing on what you would call a theologian, an educated level, they would have something out there for you too. Now, in this National Geographic, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I gave you the link, it explains how you cannot go by the vernal equinox because they tainted it on purpose. Okay? They tainted that information on purpose and made you believe the new year come in 4 days late. Okay? Now, let's get back to Jubilees where you left off that.
The book of Jubilees, chapter 6. This is the middle of verse 23. These are written and ordained as a testimony forever. And Noah ordained them for himself as feasts for the generations forever.
So he's showing you that on these days, you would come together for feasts also. One for each change of seasons. See that? Read.
So that they have become thereby a memorial unto him. And on the new moon of the first month. Now,
one other thing I wanted to go into. If you are in Europe or different parts of Europe, you would notice that this coming Monday is a so-called bank holiday or an holiday for the European Ides of March. Now, while they have everyone else dealing with the vernal equinox, they got a holiday for a new year for the Ides of March, knowing that the new year really started when the sun went down. Our time, we're in right now the new year. When the sun went down, we began what? The first day of this year. And I'm going to prove it. And I'm glad I'm doing the class on that day, so that when it's proven and you have all the information, it'll be totally sealed going forward. So I'm glad we're doing it on the day. So it's totally sealed, no questions going forward after this comes out. Read it.
It says, these are written and ordained as a testimony forever. And Noah ordained them for himself as feasts for the generations forever.
Now, why did the Most High put these in as a memorial to generations forever? I'm gonna open this up just for you all here in the room. Give me what you think, why the Most High put in these 4 to be remembered each day forever.